Get in the game with the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Bet on the NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, soccer, golf, MMA, and more. Every sport, every market, right at your fingertips. Deposit instantly with PayPal, Venmo, or Apple Pay, starting at just $10. Win big and cash out fast. PayPal in 24 hours or instantly at retail sportsbooks. Available in over 20 states, FanDuel's app is your ticket to the action. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app now.
I was going to make a point when I get to it here, but Raw opened up with of course, they did. It's funny too. I'm not throwing shade, but like Raw opened up with a recap of the WrestlePalooza event.
Right.
How did Dynamite open up? Just go straight to
just normal.
Dude,
I think it was a Hangman with a promo, right?
Yeah, it was a Hangman promo, open challenge because they were in Pittsburgh.
Right, open challenge to none other than Pittsburgh's own Lee Moriarty.
And people seriously, if you didn't see the pay-per-view, you're starting off the show with Hangman versus Lee Moriarty, and you're like,
right.
I don't know.
Right, and no reason of knowing why at the end, as dumb as it looks, Darby's with a flamethrower.
Yeah. We'll get to that. So Cody comes out, asks what they want to talk about, immediately got interrupted by Seth. Okay, so let me read this. He was out there, Braun and Paul and them, but he told them to stay in the aisleway, right? So he went into the ring by himself. He said it should be as simple. He said he's had Crown, because the next thing is Crown Jewel in Perth, Australia, in like 2.5 weeks maybe. So, and they're going to do the thing, which is the Crown Jewel main event every year, champion versus champion of the brands, right?
Yep.
So Rollins said it should be simple as may the best man win, but it's not because it runs deeper than that with the two of them. Rollins said he knows what the fans in the locker room think of him, and he asked what Cody thinks of him. Cody said it's complicated. He said Rollins has made some questionable decisions and said, "Hello, Mr. Heyman." Cody said Rollins changed his life by agreeing to face a opponent he didn't know at WrestleMania, which turned out to be me. And he said it should be that simple. He's just had Seth's wife on his podcast the other day. He said Rollins is now hiding behind 3 goons. Cody brought up the ring he was wearing. Rollins said they had to talk about the watch he was wearing, so he should have had a watch. Rollins said it was a watch that Cody brought him before WrestleMania. Said it was the first time he's worn the watch. Rollins questioned whether the gift was genuine, adding that Cody always says the right things about him. Rollins took issue with Cody's claim that he's the quarterback and the person lead WWE into the future. Rollins said it's not a 2-man show. I'm the alpha, Rollins said, and Cody said they'd had 3 matches together. They were all 1-on-1, and questioned if that would be the case at Crown Jewel. Cody asked how many of those matches Rollins won, and then dropped the mic and exited the ring while Rollins seethed. Cody stopped at ringside because Breaker and Reed were standing in his way, and Rollins motioned for them to let him pass. I thought this was a very good promo because they both were very serious in their tone, and it was very believable what they were saying to each other. I like this. What'd you think?
Yeah, I like this too. I like how Rhodes reminded him that he's 3-0 against him in their matches. This was exactly what it needed to be, It was good. They have a history together. They talked about their history. They used that for the promo. They both see themselves as the best in the business. I thought this was good.
Yeah. All right, so this is an interesting spot. So Jimmy approached Jay backstage and shook hands with him and said it was trash they lost to Braun and Bronson at WrestlePalooza. And Jimmy said he went to Raw general manager to get a rematch, but Adam told him that you had already signed a singles match with LA Knight. Then Jay said he thinks they would have won the tag match had Knight been the referee. Jay said they had a lot to take care of and then get to it once he got through Knight. So this was good storyline progression because I thought this was a good little gimmick, Because we still don't know what Jay's, he's
right.
having
That's the good part about it. You still don't know where it's going.
Penta, Eric, and Ivar against Kofi, Xavier, and Grayson in a no DQ match that ended with Penta, the Mexican Destroyer from the second rope for the win, which looks devastating. But whatever. What'd you think of this?
I think it's bordering on being a repetitive match. It was a hot match. It was a good match. That was a sick finish by Pentagon.
Right.
I would never take that.
I would never let him do that to me either. For big, you screw that up,
Right. But it was a good match. I mean, It's kind of wearing a little thin, though.
Yeah. So this is interesting. So Dominic entered the Judgment Day Clubhouse. Finn, JD, and Raquel and Roxanne were there. The Dom went to Balor and asked for help with Rusev. Oh, they showed Rusev earlier shoving Dom in a bunch of crates backstage, like bullying him.
Yeah.
So Balor said, "Why don't you ask your buddy El Grande Americano to help you?" And Dom said he was in Mexico. The Balor told Dom he was busy. The Dom asked McDonough for help, and he said he was busy. But Roxanne said, "We need to help Dom for the good of the faction." And Dom said McDonough would face Rusev later in the show. So we're setting up something there with more friction between that group.
I still think we're gonna wind up with Balor and Dom as their WrestleMania program. You know.
Yeah. So another part of the backstage area, Happy Bailey approached Lyra Valkyria and asked if she wanted to be in her corner, and Valkyria reminded Bailey as she yelled at her last week. Bailey acted like she had no memory of what happened, and Valkyria said it would mean a lot if it meant a lot to Bailey. And after Bailey walked away, Stephanie Vacker walked past Valkyria and they nodded at one another. Did everybody notice that Bailey looked like an Oompa Loompa? Pull it up, Joe, from Monday. Look at how the makeup she had in her face. Okay, and she's got purple hair. 100% she was trying to look like an Oompa Loompa. No doubt about it. Oompa Loompa doopity-doo. I have enough. No, it's got this thing with her and Lyra Valkyria backstage. Okay, tell me that's not the Oompa Loompa colors. That's the skin color. She definitely has
a little more
some
orange.
type of face paint. No,
I see your point.
yeah. I don't know if that was by design or what, but she looks like an Oompa Loompa. Oompa Loompa. Okay, so next is all right. So next Adam stands in the ring and introduces Stephanie Vacker. She has a promo. Said this being her dream. She didn't know if it would happen, but she sacrificed. She also mentioned her father, who showed grinning from ear to ear in the crowd. Pierce told Vacker Crown Jewel she would face the winner of Friday's triple threat match for the Women's Championship, and Vacker said she would be there. Pierce said she knew she would be, and then introduced her again as the new champion, and Pyro shot off. All right, so I am not like Stephanie Vacker's a very good worker, okay? But she's got a lot of work to do. Okay, but I'm wondering, so when they made Gunther the champion, okay, Gunther's confidence improved on the mic as he grew into that role because he was the Intercontinental Champion in the world. Then all of a sudden you realize, wow, Gunther's pretty. They're giving him some good stuff on the mic. He's pretty good on the mic, right? Stephanie Vacker ain't even close to that yet. Like her English is rough. I mean, it's smooth, but you can tell she doesn't speak it, smoothly, and she doesn't say anything that gets any pops. And she never has a line in there that like Gunther has some good zingers on people every once in a while, right? She doesn't really have much in the way of like showmanship or like like personality.
Well, here's the thing, bro. Gunther is a lot more confident on the mic. They give him a way better lines. They give him great one-liners.
His English is better.
Right. And bro, you're talking about half between the Garzas, Dragon Lee, Pentagon, all the Japanese. Half of them can't speak good English. I don't know why they make them do it.
No, and there's another thing too.
Either have a mouthpiece or have subtitles.
Well, and let me bring up a point. I wonder if the fact that they have so many characters on the show now that their English is not good, that it hurts the quality of the programming. Because like a lot of these promos aren't that good because you can't really understand what they're saying. They're not
and you can't give them good one-liners.
You can't give them good one-liners.
They don't know how to deliver them.
It's. I'll give Vince Russo credit. Okay, that bro, he called this a long time ago. When you have people that can't speak English, it's difficult to write good TV because it's hard to write good promo material.
I'll give you a good example.
Go ahead.
How hard is it to get into like UFC fighters that can't speak English?
Well, they do packages for them.
And they're trying to, no, but sometimes they're trying to speak English in the post-fight thing.
Right.
And you didn't understand a word.
Right.
Rogan's not going to say, hey, he's, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And sometimes I'm like, I understood absolutely nothing this guy said.
Right. And then they got the other guy.
If you've got a translator there, use them.
Yeah, they had the translator at the UFC guy. It's the same guy for every, like the guy must speak like 9 languages. Like, right. So yeah, but I'm just saying, it's like, when you're the champion, you have got to be able to sell your matches so people will watch the match.
Here's the thing that Stephanie has going for her.
Mm-hmm.
Can't cut a promo, isn't confident on the mic yet, but she's got a really good look. She looks exotic. She's very, very likable, you know.
Mm-hmm.
For those that are into it, I'm not, she had her dad there, which is just, pretty cool thing.
No.
But she's
fluent
likable. She
English?
comes off as likable, and she's got a move that's as over as anything else, that devil's kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Does her dad speak English?
I doubted he would have cut a promo. He's from Chile. I don't know why he'd be speaking English.
Well, I'm just saying because they don't have any of these characters in wrestling today. But
it says real quick, yeah, they've been in the States, her and her parents, since 2004. They moved to Texas, San Antonio. So I'm sure he's got to speak a little bit, right? At least.
Well, here's the thing. Okay?
Wouldn't you think she'd speak it better than him?
Yeah. Dude, there have been there's no parent characters on the show. Like somebody's like I would be very interested to see a character with her father out there as like a character on the show. Like, because the Mayweather family, the father, the uncle, that was entertaining. Because they were cutting promos, it's like when you get the family involved, the parents too. It's like it's kind of
English was their first language. It's very hard for these people that are still learning, to deliver good lines or even be confident or even understand some of the, like there's some words like the Japanese, they have trouble with the letter R.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. So Vaca was walking backstage after this, and she encountered Nikki Bella, and they hugged. And Rhea showed up, and she smiled while congratulating her, but said, "I'm coming for the belt." And she said, "Mammy, I'm ready." So, Asuka and Carrie.
Why didn't they have Nikki wrestle on the show?
Well, Asuka and Carrie showed up, and Asuka said Vaca doesn't deserve to be champion. Then Nikki said Vaca deserved it and would be an amazing champion, and Vaca told Asuka that she'd be thrilled to show her why she's the champion anytime she wants to fight. Okay. So then Rhea Ripley got in Asuka's face after Vaca and Bella walked away, and Ripley said she's been trying to stay out of Asuka's way out of respect for Io, but she's getting tired of Asuka's attitude. Asuka said she's sick of Ripley warning her to stay away from Sky, or she'd show her why she's not ready for Asuka. And Ripley said she is ready for Asuka, and they said they can settle in the ring tonight. And bro, the crowd popped huge on that because they've been building this heat up between the two, and I saw people getting upset that this was not an advertised match. They kind of gave it away because they did it during the show. But the way they did it, I think, was very good. They've been having words backstage on a weekly basis. If I said, "I'm having enough of you, let's just settle this in the ring," and they just said, "Okay," and the crowd popped.
I agree with you. I thought this was excellently done. They've been building tension for a while now.
And it got just the announcement of her saying, "Let's get the race," and Asuka said, "Okay," got a huge pop from the crowd. Right. They've been ready to watch these two fight, and it was I thought this was very well. This angle is the best thing they have. One of the best things they have on the show right now, because they've been doing good episodic television with it for a few weeks now. So
for a while, yeah.
So then Bayley with Lyra Valkyria against Roxanne Perez. Perez hit Valkyria with a suicide dive, then Bayley's demeanor changed. She grabbed Perez by the hair and pulled her back inside the ring, and Perez spun Bayley around and hit her with a belly-to-belly and knee strike and a rose plant for the win. Then after the match, Bayley rolled Perez to the floor. Valkyria entered the ring and applauded Bayley, then hugged her. And Bayley shoved her to the mat and yelled at her for touching her, and also said her outfit looked stupid. And then she was doing this thing, rubbing her temples like her brain was conflicted or mind, stuff. She's doing a split personality gimmick, so. Right. And she looked like an Oompa Loompa, so.
Yeah, and they had a thing where Raquel Rodriguez tried to interfere, and then Lyra Valkyria made the say, "Bro, have they spent a lot of time on Lyra Valkyria, and she's a little bit more over than she was a year ago or whenever she debuted." Right. And hopefully we're not going to have to watch Raquel and Roxanne versus Bayley and Lyra, but I think that's where they're going.
Right. Backstage, Jimmy Uso caught up with Cody, and they exchanged pleasantries, and Cody asked how Jay was doing. Jimmy said Jay wasn't listening to him, but he might listen to Cody. Cody said, "Okay, I'll go talk to him." So now you're kind of anticipating how this conversation is going to go. So they go to commercial, they come back, and Cody enters Jay's locker room. They shook hands. Cody sat down and said he spoke with Jimmy and asked if everything was okay. Jay said it was. Cody spoke about the highs and lows and failing on the big stage more than once. And Jay stared at the belt. Cody said he believes in Jay, and he shook his hand and said he would find his way back to the top. And it kind of just ended at that. and it was kind of, and Jay didn't really have any facial expression or anything. He just left, and it was left at that. I'm curious to see how Jay brings up how this conversation went, because maybe he thinks that Cody was like patronizing him or something. Like, this, I don't know, because this was kind of like I was expecting more from this conversation, but I don't know. We'll see. What did you think of this?
They're doing a great job of not letting us know exactly what's going to happen. It looks like he's going to turn heel and kind of turn into Roman Reigns, because they've even brought up his name twice, but it could be a swerve,
Right.
I forgot to say something about the last match between the women, besides the fact that it was good and they had good chemistry, and they always have good matches with other people, including themselves. It was I didn't know this. I don't think you did. Wade Barrett said that LA Knight and Roxanne Perez had the most TV matches so far of the year, with like almost 40.
It's definitely got to be Roxanne Perez.
Yeah.
I mean, she literally wrestled. I see wrestle. She's wrestling on like every single show.
No, but she said it was her and LA Knight.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
So JD McDonough against Rusev, and Dom was out there trying to cause some commotion. But Dom climbed on the apron, and Rusev applied the accolade. Dom climbed on the apron, but he froze, and McDonough topped out. Then Balor hit the ring afterwards and struck Rusev to break up the accolade while Dom was still frozen on the apron. Like, he's scared. And Balor scolded Dom as they hit up the end as well. Like Dom was too scared to go there and help JD. So Balor now had to come out and help JD, and he looked at Dom, and like Dom was scared.
That was good. I like that. Yeah.
So,
and I like Rusev's name, the Redeemer, but I didn't know JD McDonough's name until I heard it. One of the commentators said, "You know what his name is?
Who?
The Iron Lung." How great is that?
Backstage, Io Sky told Asuka she didn't need to go through the match. And Asuka said the match was happening. She would teach Ripley respect. She said she doesn't need advice from someone who lost. Sky tried to speak with Sane after Asuka left, and Sane said Asuka's the reason why they were there. She was hesitant while saying they must listen to her, and Asuka called for her. Then Asuka yelled for Kairi Sane again, and she got all scared and ran away to her. Continue, there's going to be more to that too. So Jackie Redmond interviewed LA Knight and asked about the way he referred the tag team match at WrestlePalooza. Knight said he was trying to make sure Jay was okay when Jay shoved him out of the way and took a spear, and Knight said he wasn't trying to hurt Jay, but he would if he had to. Knight said Jay would get a BFT for his troubles. So then he goes for the match, and Jay comes down from the concourse. And so this match goes like... Yeah. So Knight set up his finisher when he spotted Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed the ringside. Knight fought them off, but then Jay speared him anyway and followed up with the Uso splash. After the match, Jay got out of the ring, headed to the stage, and Jimmy Uso came out because now Braun and Reed were climbing in the ring to beat up LA Knight after the match. And he said he needs to come help him. Jay just headed backstage, and Jimmy grabbed a chair and entered the ring, and Paul Heyman pleaded with Breaker, who eventually dropped off the apron. And he just, there was no physicality here, but the chair scared off the heels, and Jay just left. So what did you think of this?
I thought that I just like the tension that there is between these two guys. Uso definitely worked kind of as a heel here, and LA Knight as the baby face, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. And this show is, when we get to the finish, I'll explain why I like this show. But let's keep going here.
Because he was very aggressive here.
Right.
I like this. They're making it look like what we think, but what I love about WWE is it could be some sort of a swerve.
Right. Seth was in his dressing room and looking at the watch that Cody gave him. There's going to be some, obviously they had some big stories surrounding this watch. She was just staring at the watch while Becky was just rambling on in the background the whole time about the Cody, the Usos, Punk, everybody. And Lynch told Rollins she was going to make an example. And Rollins finally looked up and stared at the watch as Lynch just left the room. Like, she grabbed her belt like she's going to go out and do something, right?
Right.
So then backstage, Io told Ripley that she needed to call off the match. And Ripley said Asuka had been disrespectful. Ripley said maybe they could beat some respect into one another. And Ripley told Sky to be careful around Asuka. And Io said Asuka's family, questioned whether she could trust Ripley. Io, that's not what I meant. And Ripley said after Sky walked away. But she's like trying to paint the picture that, Asuka's not a good person, right? So next was, oh, by the way, I forgot to talk about this. WrestlePalooza. Okay. Bro, how weird was the Undertaker segment with Stephanie? Because he came out, it was like the tone was act like he was like hitting on her. Because he was like very friendly with her and stuff. The announcer for the Hall of Fame, but it was like I just, he comes up the American badass. Everything. Then he was at ringside, like just playing up to her.
Yeah, I didn't get that
What'd you think of
vibe.
that segment?
I didn't get that vibe.
Maybe
what I did get is I was surprised, and she might have been surprised, but I was surprised that she didn't know what he was going to tell her.
Right.
Like she acted surprised, like, oh my God. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. So Maxine Dupree got her created for the week, and it was this. She asked Adam Pearce for a match backstage. Then Pearce spoke about how competitive the division is, and he asked her to let him find the right opportunity for her.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to her anytime soon. She's a good valet, but not a good wrestler.
This is not good. That's not even creative, right? AJ and Dragon Lee showed up after she left, and Styles said the Americanos were starting to. Lee said they wanted the Americanos in the ring next week. And Pearce said he would talk to the Americanos, but the match was on for next week. Sky told Pearce he should avoid singing additional Americanos. By the way, there was an AI Granny Americanos vignette in this that was hysterical. I would suggest people watch that. Actually, pull it up, Joe. I want to watch this again because I laughed out loud at this thing a couple times. Yo Grande the Americanos. So the main event, they breaks down. So Carrie's out there. She asks Asuka, Ripley's down. Asuka tells Carrie to go after Ripley. So she comes up on the apron and is going to give her send up her for the back fist. Ripley blocks it. Asuka runs at Ripley. Ripley moves out of the way, and Asuka runs into Carrie Sane, and Asuka gets rolled up for the 1-2-3 by Ripley. Right? So after the match, Carrie gets up and immediately sprays the green mist in Asuka's in Ripley's face.
She did a great job of that.
They're excellent with the mist, right? So Asuka had Sane enter the ring and forced her to start beating up Ripley, which she eventually did. Io Sky's music played, and she ran to the ring and pleaded with Asuka to stay away from Ripley, and Asuka acted like she was finished. Then Asuka asked her emotional and hugged Sky and blasted her with a really good-looking spinning back fist, and then ordered a reluctant Sane to attack Sky. Then Sane gave in and threw punches at Sky, and Sane held Sky while Asuka threw a kick at Sky's head, and Ripley got up, but Asuka put her right back down with a kick, and Asuka held Sky, and then an emotional Sane hit Sky with an elbow. And they laid out Rhea and Io. And, bro, this got really good heat from the crowd. They built this up really well. Like, this was progressive story. A lot of stuff, this is, because even though the show's been kind of lame, we kind of pointed out that there's some good episodic storytelling going on here for a few weeks. They paid this off because now Asuka's straight up heel and got heat on Rhea. And they're getting close to paying the Jey Uso thing off, wherever that's going. You know what I'm saying? So I think they're doing. I think the creative's gotten a little bit better the past few weeks. Well, what do you think?
I thought that, first of all, the Empress of Tomorrow is not a name I like.
What about if she's the Empress of Today? Would you be?
Either one. I'm not a big fan of just barely beating somebody, like when, the two Kabuki warriors crashed into each other and then Rhea beat her with a roll-up. Just beat her clean. And you know what I'm saying? Right. You're losing to one of the tops. As long as you lose to a top person clean, there's no big deal about it. You know what I'm saying? She did a good job with the miss because sometimes they miss. But, bro, did she get her good? And they did a great job of at the end, Carrie Sane not wanting to attack either one of them, and then she did, So we're going to definitely see Rhea and Io versus the Kabuki Warriors.
Right. Yes, this is pretty good. The
match was good, too, by the way.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, they find,
Let me just say this about the show. The show didn't have all the hoopla that WrestlePalooza does or all the star power, but I actually thought this show was better, and I'm going to tell you why. Because they had the Rollins Rhodes thing at the beginning with Paulie, right?
Right.
The which has a lot of backstory. Jay's Uso, we don't know what's going on with him, right?
Right.
Two good women's matches, the Bayley Roxanne and the Io, Rhea.
Right.
JD McDonough, who I thought looked really good again.
Mm-hmm.
Bayley continuing bipolar thing, I thought this was better than WrestlePalooza, to tell you the truth.
Well, what was our biggest complaint for like the last 4, 5, 6 months?
Yeah, the booking hasn't been good.
No, not the booking specifically, but the booking of the women.
Right.
Like there was nothing going on. They got these that they'd be in an office together and I want to wrestle. And now it's like they're finally getting these girls. They started telling some stories,
and we've been saying that for years. Right. Just give them good storylines like the guys.
Right. Yeah, build everything up in the back. You know. So
which they have been doing.
Decent episode of Raw. I was entertained.
Yes, Joe.
Yes.
What were the numbers for Raw?
We don't know. It's always a week behind with Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix.
Okay. Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.